Hello and welcome back to the Reapers. So it's the day after the big fight. Unfortunately the Blues got completely outclassed by the Reds last night. As you remember the video that we did, we basically got destroyed, all of us destroyed, about 22 planes lost unfortunately, which is real bad news, and we only got a couple of bombs on the hostile runway, which is very annoying. So when this happens, we have to go back and review and analyse to see what we did wrong. And let's go through a general tactical debrief. Anyway, so here is the IP base. We've done the big ferry and we're in our groups and ready to go. It's looking all very pretty and organised actually, very unlike us. We've got Hammer at the front here just leaving. Yeah, there's Shifty the leader, who's already taken off. Joker's leading Buick here, a bunch of Harriers. They show as F-16s but they're actually Harriers. Spear here, that's the A-10s. And then the F-15s here are Sabre, the flankers here of Dagger, and you've got Blood leading Cutlass, I think it is, with the big guns. We did like a half an hour tactical briefing on this, so if you want to go and watch that first, that would make this make much more sense. But anyway, let's set it going and see what we get. So let's go and look ahead. This is the first time I've seen this, so let's just see what we can see. So we've got about 80 or 90 miles to travel. There's the base where those SA6s are. So we've got about 40-50 miles, or maybe what that is, about 40 miles before we hit the true mountains. Now, the first thing I see is that the Mirages are already out in front of the mountains, i.e. our side of the mountains. This was not expected. We were thought they were going to be closer to the base. They've got a detachment of 2 near the base and a squad of 4 closer to our base than theirs, basically. And yes, okay. And the rules, if you remember, were they've got 6 Mirages and they can respawn from their base when they die. So they've effectively got infinite Mirages. They also have a AWACS up here, an E2 Hawkeye. Now you can see the green line. It actually has line of sight on our base. We didn't think this would happen. We thought the mountains would block out the line of sight from the E2, rendering it useless apart from close range. Unfortunately, it can see everything, and this is probably going to be the reason for our downfall, but let's play it through anyway and see what happens. Let's see our attack develop first. I should point out we've got a few rookies in our flight today. We opened it up to everyone, so I like having the rookies in sometimes because they can show what not to do. Let's speed it up anyway, or this will take forever. So we've got Hammer here heading, what is that? That's west, and that's exactly where we asked them to go. Now notice how we've got Buick heading west as well. This is an error. He will correct himself shortly and start heading east. His plan was to go east this way. Notice how the Mirages already see us going this way and they're already vectoring west. That's because their E2 can see everything that the Blues are doing, and so their GCI has put these Mirages on an intercept course. So we weren't expecting any of that, but let's keep going. A bit faster. Right, Joker's realised his hero. He's getting back on course now for the east. Sorry, for the centre. He's going to be going kind of down the centre, which is like that where the cursor is. We've got Spear. Stop it there. We've got Spear here. It's Rommel's Spear. They were briefed to be going out around the east, right around here, to force. We're trying to do a trident basically. One attack that way, one attack that way, one attack that way, but they've refused to do it, and they're following these guys, which will probably be their downfall. So that's a thing to learn straight off the bat. We've got my Sabre here getting to the east slightly as I was designated, and Sherman's dagger here getting west as was designated. Let's keep going. So you can see, look at that, Raptor's being vectored in a direct path of the Hammer. So that's going to end badly. Let's keep going. So Hammer, I don't remember how they did this, but Hammer have detected that Raptors in front of them and they've turned around. Actually, it was probably more like they've detected they were too far ahead of everyone and they've turned around. So that's lucky, otherwise they would have been wiped out right away. Right, action starting. Right, so Cap and Signore have picked up hostiles on their radar. That must be this 3 here. So let's set that up for the attack. Stand by. Okay, we're playing it through at normal speed now. This is Cap's vector to Udorosa. That's the guy I'm seeing with 17 miles and heading in. Now my guys are up nice and high where I asked them to be. I want to be as visible as I can to attract attention. Stop it there. So we're burners on, we're bags off, we're full speed, nearly 700 knots. Now these Mirages have got a different tactic. They are on the deck. They're very low. The guy is 2,000 feet above sea level, so that's probably pretty much, you know, a few hundred feet off the ground. And this makes it extremely difficult to get a lock, and you can see that as you know, my tactics are to fire about 10 miles. Well, actually, in this case, because the hostile is low and the air is thicker down here, we want to be firing about 6 to 7 miles on a head-on-head engagement. But I probably won't even be able to do that because I'm probably struggling to get a lock because it's so far down, and we've got a flanking aspect as well. The Signor is sticking with me, which is good. 700 knots now, 10 miles. Okay. Oh, right. This was unexpected. I see what went wrong here. So Sherman's Dagger are firing their missiles in. I didn't know this happened. And that's very important. Now here's a good thing to learn. It's extremely important that that all groups call out their Fox calls. So these have got Fox 1s here. Call out their Fox calls on the global 240 megahertz channel, so everyone can hear it. So it allows me to plan. I didn't realise Sherman had fired these missiles, which is why this guy turned cold. If I knew he'd fired them, I would have got a bit of a different picture and maybe backed off. Anyway, let's just play it through and see what happens. So we've got a couple of Fox 1s out. These are radar guided missiles. Uderos has obviously detected it with his warning receiver, is doing what he needs to do. Essentially turning around, dumping flares, keeping low, dumping chaff, sorry. He's going to beat those missiles easily. He'll drive them into the ground because of how low he is. He's probably just 100 feet or something off the ground. Right, and Cap's in the action now. Cap has got sourced a lock on someone. I don't know who it is. It might be Kilo Mike, it might be Uderosa. At this point, already I had lost situational awareness. I'm only 7 miles away from them. I thought there was just one Mirage, that's all I could find on my scanner, and I got target fixation on this guy here. I had no idea that these two were here, which is another reason why it went a bit pear-shaped at this point. Anyway, so I'm firing on someone. Let's analyse that shot, shall we? No, sorry, it's Signore. Right, my bad. That's Signore firing on Kilo Mike. That is a 6 mile shot, and the hostile is hot, so that is a perfectly valid shot, and you may very well get a kill here. Stand by. 700 knots, high energy, 6 miles. Very hard to beat an AMRAAM like that, especially when you fly into it. And that is pow. That's a good kill from Signore. He did everything right there. We've got a weird ET missile coming in here that's gone. Oh, it was going for Mike, and obviously it's going to cancel itself now. Meanwhile, let's get back to Cap. We've got Uderosa's avoided these two ERs very well. He's gone around a mountain essentially, and he's now getting back in combat. Now the problem he's got is that Cap is here, and Cap is fully assertive. I've got my radar on, I'm hot, I'm ready to shoot him down. So I think this is probably the guy that I shoot down, so it's a one-sided fight here, unless I do something really stupid. So it shows him going through the ground, but that's just lag, don't worry about that. So he's manoeuvring. That's interesting. So we can't really see, but I just couldn't see him. He was just a bit too close, a bit too low, and I didn't pick him up. He's only 2 miles away, look at that. At this point, I remember I caught a glimpse of this guy over here, and I thought this guy was this guy. I didn't realise that he had turned around like that. I thought he had gone like that. And so this is where my confusion comes in. Meanwhile, this guy gets a free hand now. He's got past our fighters, and he's got a free hand to go and kill our CAS, which is bad. So Cap is engaging Stahl now. Let's try and watch both fights if we can. Switch this up. I'm 5 miles from a flanking guy. That's probably going to be a kill shot of 5 miles where he was flanking. We were both low. Cap is energy high, Hostile's energy low. You see that's 320 knots, I'm 610 knots. Just over 4 miles on the flanking low guy. That's a kill shot pretty much. So let's see that go through. It's in a spectacular manoeuvre. He's burnt all of his energy off. Look at that, 260 knots. So he's getting near a stall now. 340 knots. There's very little he can do to avoid it now. There tends to be a misconception that turning your fighter super tight and going super slow will dodge a missile. In fact, it won't. Unless you're really lucky, it never works. All it does is burn your energy off, and maybe we'll talk about it later in the movie somewhere. Burning your energy off is bad because it's very difficult to gain energy, very easy to lose it. Once you lost it, you can no longer manoeuvre. So he was out of energy, he couldn't manoeuvre. Easy pickings for an AIM-120, and that's a kill for Cap. Right. Okay, he survived. Okay, we'll see that through, but essentially he should be dead. So the mistake was Cap lost situational awareness. I lost track of this guy. I thought he was him, and so he's got through this guy, and he's now a fox in the chicken pen. He's gonna eat these A10s for breakfast. A10s can defend themselves, but they're not in a defensive posture here. They're in a ferry posture, and I'd be very surprised if they even get a shot at the Mirage. This Mirage is just seeing them now. It's just strafe that guy with guns. What's my guy doing? My guy's still alive over here, but he's been hit by an AMRAAM, so yeah, he's crashed, he's dead, or I gunned him or something. Signori's coming to back me up just like he should do, so it's excellent flying from Signori, we like that. So Urarosa actually killed the rear A10 there. So, you know, it's a one-way fight, Mirage versus an A10. Tony's actually going offensive now, which is, well, it's up to him. It's neither good nor bad, really. Okay, I think we'll stop there. So that was the action on the western flank. We've still got Raptor out here, we'll follow him in a minute. Let's just check east. Okay. Now the good thing is, because we sucked all these fighters into the west, the guys that actually did go east are doing well. These guys, I've forgotten their name now, Cutlass, they're unopposed. Joker's guys, there's a whole bunch of Harriers there. It looks like they've shifted extra far east because of this contact, so they've done well, improvised well, and look, they're completely unopposed. They've got Sherman covering. Now, don't look at these two chaps. Coffee and Squiddle have obviously been vectored by their GCI to go and intercept these guys, so that's going to be ugly. But let's quickly finish off this side, see what Raptor does. Oh, I forgot about this guy, whoopsie. Right. Okay, let's wind that back, shall we? Right, A10's are calling for help. It's because of this guy. Signori's responded to help. Cap's responding not very well. Signore, stop, is now 6 miles from this guy. You should really be able to pick him up on the radar, just about still at 6 miles. So it's really now who can find each other quicker. Now, remember, because of AWACS, who's got a line of sight on Signore, this guy knows where Signore is. He can see him on his map, and his GCI can guide him towards this guy. Signore can't see this guy. He doesn't know where he is. He has to find him with his radar. So this Mirage is probably going to lock this. Well, we saw it. He finds our guy earlier and wins the fight. So that's a win due to better information and better use of that information. We'll watch it through, see if there's anything interesting. Both super low, both high energy. Yeah, he just knew exactly where he was. And pow, is dead. And now I suppose he's going to come and kill me, isn't he? Oh, Sonic to the rescue, look at that. Just when I needed him. He's just popped an ER right on top of the rose. No, he hasn't. Sorry, he's gone for Raptor. Raptor's doing exactly what he needs to dodge. He's turning. If he's going to do this right, he should keep turning and go cold. And that will just about scrub that missile down. It's about a 10-mile shot. So it's 50-50 basically, but Raptor can dodge it, staying low, countermeasures, turn all the way around, keep your energy high. Oh dear, Cap's in the poo here. Again, Cap had no idea where this guy was. My radar beam only goes out about this far, so there's no way I could see him. This guy knew exactly where I was, so superior information there. There was no way I was going to win that. That's me out of the fight. Raptor has dodged. Okay, he used terrain to dodge the missile instead, so that's obviously fine. Oh god, too much to watch now. This guy is now firing an A10. And the A10 dodged. Well done, Rommel. I can't. So Cap obviously realises where this guy is now, and I'm trying to dodge him. If I've got any sense now, I'm just going to bang on the afterburners, get over this mountain as soon as possible, and run away down that canyon. That's the only chance I've got of getting away. I can't go up. That won't work. So let's zoom out here. What have we got going on over here? Right, so we've got this guy attacking Rommel and Sonic attacking this guy. So Sonic's doing his job. Let's try and watch them both. Sonic's got an R-73. Excellent missiles these are. That guy fired accidentally. That R-73 might hit him. I mean, you're saying that he's low. Look how low he is, and he's fast. Very hard to kill for a missile if you're that low. Look, you see, I almost beat him over the mountain. If I'd have beaten him over the mountain, I could have ducked down over the mountain and run away down that valley. So let's have a quick peek at that, shall we? See what I did wrong. So, energy height. Look at that speed I had. Now, the problem was here. I got the missile warning. I started to turn. I rolled. That was a stupid thing to do. Never roll when a missile is coming at you. Turn. High G. Basically turn and keep turning. And keep it on 9G so you're almost blacking out. That's how you're going to beat your missile. But I've tried to reverse and dummy and just haven't put enough angles between me and the missile, and it was an easy kill for the missile. It wasn't even slow at that point, and that's cap out. Right, let's go back here. Sonic, this is pretty much a one-way fight. In down low, the flanker is pretty much just as manoeuvrable as the Mirage. It's much more manoeuvrable than the F-15 certainly. And Sonic's got the advantage here. He's spotted him early. He's got perfect fighting posture, and he's got missiles all over him. There's only so much Raptor can dodge. Raptor did extremely well because he's doing all this dodging, all this stuff, and he's still over 610 knots. So that's it's a big 9G pull he's doing around there. But at the end of the day, there's only so many missiles you can dodge, and pow, he's out. I mean, all in all, that was some pretty. I mean, there were mistakes, but that was a pretty good fight. We took down 4 Mirages there. Sorry, 3 Mirages there. And they knew where we were, and we didn't know where they were. So that wasn't that bad. So let's see where it all started to unwind. I guess we did lose an A10, didn't we? Anyway, that's the western flank looked at. I'm not sure what this guy's going to do. Is Nicholas going to fight him? Okay, keep that in mind. Let's go and have a look over here quickly. Okay, Sherman has not spotted these guys for whatever reason. I guess he just hasn't seen them. So let's play this through, speed it up. No, we're missing a dogfight here. Let's scroll back. So we're going to have an interesting fight here. We've got Udarosa here, a very experienced Mirage driver, won't make any mistakes. Here we've got F-15 Nicholas, brand new recruit, fresh-faced greenhorn in an F-15. And I saw they were going into a dogfight. Let's see how their styles differ here. So this F-15 has got the Mirage in its sights. There's no way this Mirage should win this fight. He's got him clear. He's let's set it up. Yeah, they're 3 miles away. I mean, this is a done deal. There's no way this Mirage can win. So let's see what happens. How can this experienced pilot turn it around? So the F-15 is, for a start, a mistake I see is the F-15 is too slow, 520 knots. I would be well over 600 knots at that point. You can see Udarosa's already burners on, maximising his speed. The idea is you want to keep as much energy in your plane at all times as possible. Potential energy can represent itself either height above the ground or height above the sea, and or speed. So if you can keep either height or speed, that's keeping your energy high. When it comes to a dogfight, speed is your best bet. So you see he's not okay, he's got burners on now, so at least he's doing that. Udarosa knows that he's in trouble now. He's turning, he's starting to wiggle and go defensive. So there's a missile, it's an AIM-9. That's a pretty good shot. It's 2.5 miles on a flanking fast target. I say 2 miles, so that's just about fine. So let's see where that went. It went into the ground. It was just a slightly badly timed shot. You can see that the guy was flanking left, and that if your target's flanking left, alright, the missile has to charge out at an angle like that to intercept in front of it. So always know when your guy is flanking, and especially if he's fast, and you can tell that he's fast, your missile's not going to go toward him or follow him, it's going to go off to the side like that. So if there's a mountain off to the side like that, don't do it, or wait. Easier said than done, but yeah. Okay, it's catching up, that's good. He may have lost tally for just a second, but he's still on it. We're under a mile now. Now let's see. This is going to be the all-important bit, I reckon. And there it is. There is the mistake. So, Udarosa, experienced guy. He's done a big pull there, but he's kept 630 knots. He's kept energy in the plane because he's not put too much backstick in that turn. He's kept his alpha, his angle of attack, low, under 20 degrees, and therefore his aeroplane can keep at 630 knots. And this is how he can get out of this and win this fight, by energy conservation, which is rule 101 of a dogfight: energy conservation. Now let's compare that to a recruit here. Nicholas, he's seen this hostile, he's seen him, and he's done a snap turn to the left to get on his backside. So what's the problem with doing that? Well, a snap turn with that much backstick, look how tight that radius is compared to that radius, is put his aircraft in a massive angle of attack. I don't know if we can tell what it is, I don't think so at the moment, but probably, why don't we try and find out? Hang on. So we've got the two guys telemetry here, see if we can find angle of attack. There it is. Wonder if we can... So let's try and just roll that back a bit and let's see where he maxes out an angle of attack. 23rd. This is just under 30 angle of attack for a F-15, is just killing it. So much air resistance on the wings and the body at that point. You've burnt all your energy. You've converted it into heat and sound and whatnot. Now let's compare that to Rosa's turn. Let's go back a bit. Look, he maxes out at 9 degrees angle of attack. So his plane is still slippery, hence he can keep that big turn. So, lesson learnt here, don't snap back like that. So what should he have done? He should have kept his burners on, but instead of snapping, he's doing the natural thing, which is to snap round to keep that thing on his nose that's trying to do. What he should have done, to conserve his energy, is less backstick, done a big radius turn like this, where the cursor's going, around like that, and overlap like that. Then he could have kept his 650 knots or whatever it was, and that Mirage would be reeling in instead of getting away. Now we've got an F-15 low on energy and a Mirage high on energy. Sorry to take so long about that, but that was just such a great example. I couldn't set that up if I wanted to. So let's continue. I imagine it's going to be like this for the rest of the fight, to be honest. So this Mirage is doing exactly what he needs. Long sweeping turns, and I wonder what kind of G he's pulling. That would be interesting to see. So we've got looks like he's going to go. Oh, right. So he's got an AIM-120C out. Let's look at that. What could be wrong with that? Well, he's fired an AIM-120C, which is a long-range 20-mile missile. He's fired it at under a mile. That's a major problem. I know the reason he's done that is because he's probably out of AIM-9s. But there's almost no way that missile can hit. It just... I don't know the reason why, but it just can't get a good enough lock or whatever within a mile. It needs 3 miles really to hit, because it's a long-range missile. Anyway, let's see what happens. I'm sure I'm going to be right. In the next, let's look at Oderosa's G here. Let's see what he pulls in his alpha. So he's in a massive panic now because he's got the radar warning telling him it's got a missile on his back. So a new pilot would just snap the stick back and stall. Let's see what this guy does. Beautiful turn. Look, just like I said, 9G. So currently his screen is completely black. He can't see because he's lost all the blood from his head. Yet he's still maintaining, an experienced pilot is still maintaining the perfect 9G, and he's also managed to keep his angle of attack below 20. So it's not perfect, but it's below 20. So he's going to keep his speed up, and he's doing his chaff. So this is pretty much perfect flying. Again, I reckon this missile is going to miss. Yeah, okay, well, in this time he drove it into the ground. He did exactly what he needed to do. That's fine. He's backing off the G now because the missile's gone. He's backing off the Alpha. And look at the energy difference now. This guy has done full 9G turns, so that's as hard as his body can take it, but he's managed to keep 570 knots and under pressure. The new guy has been under no pressure at all, but he's burnt his energy all the way down to 330 knots. So that's nearly half of this guy's, simply by not cornering right. And I know I'm not the best cornerer in the world, but this is good for all of us to learn and watch and to see. Right, so Udarosa is going to unload the G now, I imagine. Maybe not, it's tightening, but he's still keeping his alpha well under 20. Nicholas is just burning. Here's a really good example. Now, I was saying before... Oh, hang on, I've got to have a drink. Now, I was saying before the importance of keeping energy. Why is it important to keep energy? It's important because it's extremely difficult to get back. The way you get energy is by flying straight and having engines to max power your afterburners on. And still, to go from no energy to high energy, which is 600 or 700 knots, takes what, 20, 30 seconds? That's a lifetime in a dogfight. But to lose energy takes just 1 second. If you just pull your alpha up, angle of attack, just up above, 25 for just a second, you've wiped all your energy out, there's too much air resistance, you've lost everything. And it's going to take you half a minute to get it back. So you're screwed. If you ever lose energy in a fight, unless you're amazingly lucky, you're screwed. So even though this guy had every right to win, he had all of the advantages, he's now put himself effectively on the back foot because he's so energy low. Now, also, the only way he can increase his energy now is to straighten out, but he's not realising that. He's just fixated on the target and just staying with the target. Like I said, I'm guilty of that, but this is what we can learn from. Well, I don't know what he can do to get his energy back now. He needs to straighten up. Basically, you need to be straight to gain your energy, or at least not much of a turn. Anyway, that's what's his alpha at the moment. It's 7 degrees. It's still a bit high, bearing in mind that he doesn't really need to turn much at the moment. Anyway, let's continue. Airbase is working on his energy again. He's getting as fast as he can. He's as low as he can. We've got a missile out now. Let's analyse that. Yeah, it's actually not a terrible shot. It's 2 miles. I believe an Amaran can just about function well at this range. The target is cold. That will help, aspect that will help this missile, give it more time. So Airbase is now on the back foot slightly. He's going to have to beat this by either 9G left and right sustained turns and countermeasures, or he's going to have to terrain block, drive it into the ground. So let's go and have a look. This is another thing. When chasing a hostile who's low to the ground, and you're low to the ground as well, very hard to get your missiles to work. They tend to drive themselves into the ground because they're just a bit stupid. If possible, I always like to stay a few, maybe 2,000 feet above the guy I'm chasing low, because then my missile won't drive into the ground, it will drive downwards. It might also get a slight energy increase as well from gravity. That's almost negligible though. It's all air resistance. When it comes to missile, it's all air resistance. Gravity is almost nothing for a missile. So I like to stay a bit higher if I can for that reason, and let's see what happens. This might be a kill. It's a fairly good shot. Yeah, look at that, straight into the ground because he's so low. This guy's 100 feet off the ground. This guy's 6 or 7 feet, 100 feet off the ground. It's just too low to be firing a missile, especially a long range missile. Anyway, see what happens. So it races back to 630 knots. Nicholas still can't get energy. He's stuck down at 290 knots. In fact, I've got a horrible feeling he might have turned his afterburners off. But that's never going to work. So let's go back and review that. He's fighting here. Oopsie. He's fighting a hostile that's 1 mile away. Well, 2 miles away. Less than 2 miles away. Who's in a full. Where is it? G. He's in a 5G turn. 600 knots. Cutting across your nose, flanking. So that AIM 120 simply won't have enough steering authority to get ahead of this plane, because it would need to literally steer like that, and no missile can do that. I don't know where it can. The R-73 can do that, but an AIM 120C with its tiny fins and long body can't turn in front of this, and you'll see it just give up straight away and just say, fuck this, I can't do this. Look at that, it didn't even try and track him, or it did a tiny bit, but it was, it's pointless. So that's a thing to learn. So in that case, this applies to all planes. Don't take stupid shots when someone's flanking across like that at such a fast side aspect and so fast. You could argue that maybe if you put your nose in front of him and pointed this way, you could fire and get a shot maybe, or if you had a manoeuvrable missile like a Sidewinder or a R-73, yes, you might be able to do it. To be honest, if it was me and I didn't have Sidewinders, the best thing now is just work on your energy, fall in behind him and wait for a better shot. When the hostile is heading away from you, which he will do eventually, that's your time to shoot. Anyway, let's carry on. He still hasn't got his energy back. He must have turned his burners off, which is just a stupid mistake now, because he's going to regret this any second. Too tight. Oh, wow, look at that AIM 120C turn. I think that's a bit unrealistic. I'm pretty sure it can't do that, but Sherman's coming to save the day, thank God. So again, nice big radius from red guy. Blue eye panics, wants to keep him on his nose all the time. has to do this tight radius, and even with burners on, can't get his energy up. And it's just pointless doing this as well, turning inside the bogey like that, because you can't get a shot off anyway, especially if you haven't got an aim 9. Anyway, let's follow through. This guy's still doing it right, still doing the big radiuses, still over 600 knots. Nicholas appears to have lost situational awareness at this point. So he's done it again. He's found the target, and he's done a snap. He's done a snap pull on the stick, so he's yanked his stick right back. And let's see how high his alpha goes for fun. He's at 40 degrees alpha. F-15s don't fly at 40 degrees alpha. A kite might, but an F-15 doesn't. Now let's watch this energy just drop off, and he'll probably stall and crash now. 230, 220, 210, 200, 190. And that's pretty much, you know, the envelope of the F-15 there. He's lost most of his control authority of the aeroplane now. There's almost nothing he can do. If Sherman hadn't been here to save the day, this guy would just be struggling, stalling, and Udorosa would have just done a nice big sweepy turn and pow into him. And that's the difference there, well demonstrated, between an experienced and an inexperienced pilot, and how he can flip the tables like that just by good flying. In this case, our wonderful Sherman has come to kill this guy off, and Sherman knows what he's doing. He should get the kill. Nice kind of 6 mile ET or so that was. Very hard to beat. High energy missile. And like we said before, there's only so many missiles you can dodge. Great example there. Thank you for everyone involved there. Right. This is taking a bit longer than I thought, but let's go and review what happened over here. And get rid of these now. Right, while that was happening, Cutlass, these guys should have been completely invisible. Unfortunately, AWACS could see them because of its high angels. Therefore, these guys, look, they've been infected literally onto target. So it's shooting fish in a barrel at this point. I doubt these Vigans even have any defensive missiles. Their defense is speed and stealth, essentially, by going so low. But it doesn't work in this case because of the information the Reds have. And it's going to be a bit silly, so we're going to wind it forward. I don't think there's going to be much to learn here. It's going to fall in with, the best thing you can do is, well, I won't say, show you. Just fall in line with the formation, and you should start blatting out matras, whatever they're called. This guy's spotted the hostile, and he's, you know, deviates slightly, but there's not much really he can do. We can't even really outrun them because they're full of bombs. Oops, got that up. So you're starting to fire now. I should point out, these Reds did the right thing. There's 2 options they could have done. They could have come in and just start firing away as they were coming in, or they could have fell in line in formation with the hostiles and started shooting them then. Now, if they would have fired when coming like this in on their first attack, they might have hit or they might have missed. And if they missed, they were screwed, because there's mirages are going to be, you know, 600 knots this way. The Vigans are going to be going that way. All of a sudden, there's going to be a huge, you know, it's going to be hard for the mirages to catch up. They might not be able to catch up. So what they've done is the proper thing, which is to merge with the blue formation. They know that the blue formation is not dangerous, so they can just, you know, get in formation with them. That way, they're flying with the formation, and they can just fire away at will. And they know the blues can't get away because they're moving with them. Anyway, so let's see it. Obviously, this coffee's going to put a missile up. Blood shortly. Pow, guns or whatever that was. He killed him with something. This guy shot this guy. This guy actually, I think it was Trash. He dodged the first missile. Let's go and see that. That's good. That's hard to do. Missile out. Probably a heat seeker. And Trash is. Oh, that was. Don't know, you can't usually dodge missiles like that, but he did this time, so that's very good. But his energy was low after that, and that was a one-way thing. Now I think this blue guy actually survives. I don't think the Mirages realise there's this guy here, so I think we can wind it forward now. So these guys are now clear. They've killed all 4 Mirages in the west after losing Cap and Signore and an A-10, I think, and they're moving in. The problem they've got is that Reds can respawn, so by the time they've moved a few miles, Reds are up with 4 more Mirages, and they've got to battle through them again. And if they would have to do it several times. They would move here. 4 more Mirages would take off. So it's yeah, not going to happen, is it? Never going to happen. Right. So we can see. Let's pause that. You've got Harriers in this canyon. Should be completely invisible. There should be no way anyone could find them. Literally, unless you stumbled across them. As we found out ourselves. Now the AWACS doesn't have. Oopsie. So the AWACS, I guess, had just a slight line of sight down there. Let's go and have a look, because it's quite important we establish what went wrong. No, it doesn't. Something's gone wrong here, and for some reason that AWACS can see through the mountain. Either that or their GTI, for some reason, knows where these planes are. But no one should know where these guys are. They should be safe all the way to the target. So something's gone wrong, and we need to look at that, see what went wrong, and see why this guy can vector himself perfectly to them, which is almost impossible to do. You can see they know exactly where they are. Let's speed that up. Yep. Look, someone's told him, turn around there. There they are. So that was a bit naughty. And they've just, closed in on them. And these Harriers, I mean, they've got good missiles, but they're not spec'd for fighting. They will be going down. So some interesting stuff going on. So that's Hardcore was dodged. Well done. That's a bit what we talked about a few minutes ago when this guy was firing on Hardcore, and Hardcore was, well, he's not fast, but he's low and he was flanking, and it gave him a small chance of beating that missile, and he did. So Coffee's going to come in and blast this guy now. Pow pow. No chance there. This guy's going to come on Joker, I suppose. Seth looks to be posturing. He is. Look at that. A brilliant AIM-9 missile, and well done. Harrier, a bomb spec Harrier just killed a fight spec Mirage. That was unexpected and very good. Squiddle here is, it's a one-way ticket. Nothing Joker can do. It's 250 knots. He's down. Okay. Right. Let's carry on a bit. Okay, so this guy Stahl's been vectored onto Seth, even though I don't think the E2 should be able to see him again. He's gone straight past him. Maybe he was going for this guy, actually. Maybe the E2 can see through this canyon. Stahl's gone straight past him as well. No, must be going for tender then. Let's speed that up a bit. Oh, there's a missile out. So the only survivors are these two guys from, 10 guys on this flank, and, good dodge. Again, another demonstration of firing on a flanking target, you can miss. Okay, and they get into quite a funky chase here, don't they? So let's go and watch that for fun. So the name of the game here is obviously keep your energy as high as possible for the blue guy. This is not an F-16, it's a Harrier. And keep as low as possible. If you can do that, keep as fast and as low as possible, even in unbalanced aircraft like this is a subsonic Harrier versus a supersonic Mirage, you can still be effective, because it's almost impossible. If you're running around these mountains 50 feet away from the mountain edge, it's almost impossible for this guy to get a firing solution. And who knows, you could do this literally until the Mirage ran out of gas, because the Harrier won't run out of gas. So, I think the Harrier does actually win this fight. So look how close he is, 10 feet away from the mountain. How's that guy going to get a shot in there? Okay, this guy's prepping to shoot. So we're putting flares out just in case. Yep, exactly when he should have shot, and look at that. Let's wind that back. Excellent flying from the Harrier. Let's try that again. A couple of flares out, missiles out, stop. There. He was just so close to the ground, doing enough manoeuvring, not much, but enough manoeuvring to beat that missile. I'm actually really surprised he did beat that missile. Also, we could say maybe it was something to do with the Harrier's thrust nozzles. Most planes have the nozzle at the back, making it very hard to disguise it when you're running away. This Harrier has them kind of relatively silhouetted underneath, and maybe him rolling over like that has somehow shielded him the heat from his nozzles from this heat-seeker missile. So that's interesting, and maybe we'll look into that. Anyway, let's finish this off because I've taken way too long. More manoeuvring, more flares, more super low. Look how low he was there. Beautiful. And look at the Mirage, almost lost him because he's going so low, manoeuvring so well. Just going to keep the speed up. Look, he burnt the Mirage's speed off there. He's actually going faster than the Mirage now. Guns, miss. Guns, miss. He's now faster than the Mirage still. He's getting away now. Mirage must be out of air-to-air weapons, and it stopped. And that's the end. That's annoying. It appears to be a corrupted file. We can't go any further than that. My apologies, but to be honest, I think that's really all we needed to see anyway. I mean, after this, it was a bit of a turkey shoot. We've got nothing left on the east flank, essentially. We've got dregs on this flank. We've got the A-10s, which are slow, and they're never going to be able to strike this airbase to get through the SA-6. A couple of cap guys, but, you know, they're not going to be able to beat 6 respawning Mirages, are they? So that was a one-way game. Conclusion. Too many Mirages. They were flying too well, hugging the ground and whatnot, and the information and their use of the information was just too good. We could run that mission 10 more times and have exactly the same outcome. I'd say the only way of beating that mission was to, first of all, take out the AWACS, so they didn't have such good eyes, and then they would have been more like headless chickens, a bit more like us, essentially. Was it possible? Almost certainly not. We could have gone straight over the top with a. We could have gone with a bare bones stripped down F-15, Angels 50, Mach 2.5 across here, over the SAMs. The problem is these Mirages, they're designed to zoom climb. They could have zoomed right up and put matches on us. I don't think we would have worked. Else we could have come around the side. We could have 50 miles out the side here. Mach 2 in there wouldn't work. E2 would see it coming. They would have had interceptors on the way. I think that's an impossible mission. Let me know if you think differently. But otherwise, it was really enjoyed the look at the tactics here. I think we learned a lot from that. So cool. I'll see you later.